BluEarth is really sort of our way of trying to make a difference in a positive way to combat climate change, to change the world, to move away from fossil fuels towards something else. And this may not be the ultimate something else, it may be the transition through generations to something different, but it is the start of that change.
There's a lot of planning that goes into wind farm development. So a lot of getting out in the community and figuring out where and how and why. So it takes a number of years from start to pushing power onto the grid. We do a lot of the integration management. So a supplier will come up with the turbine and we'll go out and find the right components, the right equipment, and bring it all together and make sure that it's all packaged appropriately and put onto the grid in a way that works for the power generation system.
Run-of-river hydro is a lower impact way of producing energy from the natural hydrology of an area. Traditionally, large dams were built across rivers and it stopped all water flow, and it had a large impact on the fish species, upon the environment of the valley below, the natural creek that would have flown there below. Run-of-river maintains the river flow as well as carving off some of the water to put into a turbine which generates power. So you really get the best of both worlds. You're using renewable energy to create power, but you're maintaining a river flow to support all the habitats and the ecosystem that naturally would be there as if the Run-of-River project wasn't here before.
As a whole industry, I think the next step for power generation is looking at storage. So how can we smooth out those peaks? How can we deal with the days when the wind isn't blowing so much and the sun isn't shining so much?
Now you can store energy from the generation facility and put it back into the grid when it needs it. And you can smooth out the variability of the output of the plant. So that helps the grid operators balance the load and generation on the grid.
And we definitely make a concerted effort to deal with the grid operators, make sure we give them what they need to be able to have the control that lets us integrate as smoothly as possible into the system.
The distributed nature also, in terms of where they're located in the province, strengthens our electricity grid. So we don't have just central power plants sending electricity by wires to all the very ends of the province. We've got them out in those ends of the province already, and that does make more security and a better system in terms of how the operators have to run it.
Having that stance and bringing that science-based approach to the forefront makes us work with people like BluEarth, who really, they just want to get the facts. They want to make sure that they can stand behind whatever they're putting out.
A lot of us take things for granted in our lives, like when you flip on the light switch, that the lights will go on. And you don't really see where that comes from, but if you could see in Alberta the coal plants, the smokestack, the tailings pond that's associated with that flip of the light switch, then you might think twice about whether or not it's worth really looking at new technology. Not only do I think BluEarth has a role in terms of advancing renewable energy, continuing to deploy renewable energy, but also in providing leadership to the industry in terms of how that can be done and doing it the right